Hello and welcome. My name is Devin Ricker. I'm a personal trainer and strength coach, and I help people with their fitness needs, fitness questions, anything like that. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about nutrition and in particular, supplements. What supplements should you be taking? Should you be taking any? Are they even worth it? You know, this topic can be really confusing, and it's been confusing for me for a long time. But luckily, we have a lot of research on certain supplements that may work and certain supplements that really just don't work. And it's actually pretty simple. There's only a few that are actually worth taking. And on top of that, let me just go ahead and make it super simple for you. Do you need supplements? Absolutely not. You do not unless your doctor says that you're in a deficit of a certain micronutrient or macronutrient or something like that. So you don't need them if we're talking about purely muscle gain or weight loss. You absolutely don't need them. I would say they maybe accumulate to maybe 5% of a diet success, if that. So they can be really helpful if you're like a top tier athlete or bodybuilder or something where the margins are just so small for victory as compared to like last place. Like with this year's Olympics, I think everyone was within at least a half a second of one another, which is absolutely crazy. So for something like that, those margins can be so narrow that something like supplements could help significantly. But in this video, we're going to talk specifically about legal supplements. There are a lot of illegal supplements, as I'm sure you're aware, that actually do work really well. Gaining muscle, losing weight, recovery, all that sort of stuff. But in this video specifically, I want to talk just about the legal ones because that's the only ones that I have experience with. And so let's go ahead and get started. There are three that I'm going to mention, and the first one is one that I'm sure you all are aware of, and that is protein. Protein supplements are extremely important, especially if you're trying to get a certain number of grams per day. Like a lot of people that are trying to gain muscle or cut down in body fat while maintaining as much muscle as possible are trying to have about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you're trying to get 200 grams of protein a day, and getting that all in solid foods can be extremely difficult. So that's where a protein shake can come in handy, because you do 2 scoops, you're right at about 50 grams of protein. That's a fourth of what you need for the day. So that's super simple. You get it in right away. It's super lean, super good for you. All the research has been tested and shown that most whey proteins are extremely healthy. Now you have different types of proteins. Whey is probably the most common. That's like something that is very quick digesting. That's something you would take right after a workout, or maybe even before or during a workout, but probably right after is your best bet. Now, along with that, you also have something called casein protein. Now, that is a slow digesting protein. That is something that takes a long time to digest throughout your body and be absorbed. That, as you could imagine, will be a better protein option for a meal replacement or at nighttime before you go to bed. Like, let's say you need something just a few more calories in or a few more grams of protein. A casein protein at night, maybe an hour or two before you go to bed, would be a perfect option because it'll slowly digest throughout the night. So just to recap, you would want to have whey protein around your workout window and then casein protein as kind of a meal replacement / at nighttime. Now you could mix these together. You could do 1 scoop of each if you want to do kind of a meal replacement that lasts for a long amount of time, and maybe you haven't ate, for a couple hours before that. So protein is the number one supplement I would recommend. There are all kinds of different brands, and most of them pretty much have about the same ingredients. So just pick whichever one is cheapest and best and most affordable for you and has the best reviews. So that's protein. Up next is number 2, which is creatine. Now, creatine is something that I've been using for a long time now. Not only is it really good for recovery and for muscle growth and things like that, but it's also really good for your cognitive function. In fact, there's been research to show that it can actually help in preventing or stalling out neurodegenerative diseases. So I think everyone should probably be taking a little bit of creatine. Now, some people, you really can't tell a difference when you're on it and when you're not. And some people, you can tell a little bit of a difference. It's not going to be anything that's like life-changing or anything like that. But like I said, in the margins, it could be a pretty good supplement to try out. Now with creatine, I would recommend taking micronized creatine. That's the only one that I know of that has actually been really well tested, and most scientists that I know like swear by it. So micronized creatine. I take Optimum Nutrition's version. I'm sure there are many other versions that you can take as well. And with micronized creatine, I would just have it in your protein shake around when you work out, and just make sure to have it consistently each day, and just do like what the serving size is, which is like I think 5 grams or so. So that will really help out. And you can also cycle on and off it, not because it can be bad for you or anything, but more so like your body gets used to it over time, and then the effects kind of dwindle down, and then you might need to cycle off of it and then cycle back on after a couple of months. So that is number 2. Number 3 is going to be caffeine. Now, for a long time, caffeine was actually banned in the Olympics because it actually does something. It's a stimulant, so it actually helps you with your training or with your performance. So caffeine actually does help, and it can be a really good supplement for you. So I would just say you can do it in the form of coffee, tea, you can do it in a caffeine pill or something like that. I wouldn't go overboard with this, and a lot of people get really addicted to caffeine. So I would say take what you need, maybe early in the morning or around the workout window, and then kind of leave it there. Don't become like a caffeineaholic where you have like 10 coffees throughout the day. And if you are, maybe try to dwindle that down. And I also have found in my own life that when I cycle on and off caffeine, the effects of caffeine are way better. So if I take like a month off from caffeine, and then if I am gonna do like a sporting event or something like that where I need a lot of energy, and then I try caffeine again, my energy boosts through the roof. Whereas if I'm always doing caffeine or I'm always drinking tons of coffee or whatever, my body is just kind of used to it and it really doesn't do too much. And I kind of find that I just need more and more and more to have any effect at all. So those are the 3 primary supplements that work. I have one honorable mention, and that would be a multivitamin. Now, multivitamins aren't really necessary, but if you don't have a really good nutritional program, you're not getting lots of leafy greens and fruits and vegetables and all that sort of stuff, they may be really good to supplement in, and just make sure you're getting everything that you need. So that's it, 3 supplements plus maybe a multivitamin that work for sure, even to just a little minor degree. So make sure to try those out if you haven't already and you're thinking about doing supplements. Anything outside of that, I would probably just be very wary of it, and there's probably not been a lot of testing on it. They probably don't work, but you know, maybe in the future we'll come up with something, and maybe there will be a lot of tests and we find out that there's many other things that work and that are legal. So let me know if you've taken any of these in the comments down below, or if you have any other supplement suggestions. Make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And also, if you want to know what are some overrated arm exercises and what to replace them with, check out this video right here. I'll catch you in the next one.